Right. Hello folks, it's Pyra Draculea with another Vlogmas 2024 cartoon and chat, or whatever we're gonna call these. So, we're back to the Ricky B. Rat cartoons today. As I mentioned before, we're alternating. So, who have we got on board today? Well, we have Ricky's girlfriend, Baby, aka Barbara Rattsen, and this is Miles's cousin, and she is shaking her presents to try and guess what they're all about. But let's start coloring her in, eh? So Baby is, she's the baby of her family, youngest of 5 daughters to Kevin and Karen Rattsen. And Karen's family is a whole long line of beauty queens going back several generations. And so far, Baby is the only girl in the maternal line, including all the cousins and whatnot, to not have won Miss Ratsville. Or even Miss Teen Ratsville. But, you know, she's only 19 and you can keep trying till you're 28. So she is going to keep trying, and she is quite convinced that she will eventually prevail and then go from there to become Miss Ratland, the state, and win the state, and then go on to win Miss World, Miss Universe, all the things, right? So, you know, girl's got to have ambition, and she wants to be beauty queen. Her sisters were beauty queens, her mother was beauty queen, etc., etc., etc. In the meantime, Baby is a cosmetology student at the prestigious, at least as far as she's concerned, Beauty Red Academy. I believe that is located on Bree Avenue, or no, Bree Avenue or Cheddar Lane. I'd have to look it up. But, you know, they're right next to the former location of the Rat Buster video. So, you know, everyone knows where that is. And next to the Rat Mart Super Center. I'd have to look it up. Ricky has mentioned this in, if not, possibly not one of the videos, one of the podcast episodes that's already gone up, but, you know, in future. Also, I'm going to mention this month is a little off with the podcast. Normally I would put up the Ricky B. the Rock and Roll Rat podcast edition on, you know, somewhere around on the first Monday, ideally, of the month, and then another episode on the third Monday. But I was busy. I was late. So, I have the Christmas episode written, but I possibly still have to write the first December episode. Anyways, so we're going to be a little bit off, but that's okay, because if I do it on the second and fourth Monday, then that ends up being the fourth one aligns right with Christmas. You know, because it's like, I don't know, 23rd, I think, of December. Be when that one goes up, and then December 9th. So that's the schedule. But in the meantime, if you want to check out the podcasts, click on the description for this video. I have been posting for at least for the last 2 that had Ricky and Miles. If I mention the Ricky podcast or whatever, I'll put a link to the Ricky YouTube channel, which has, you know, some clips from the show, some all the episodes and a few clips. And, you know, come 2025, there might be some other good stuff going up on that, but we won't talk about it yet because I haven't determine an exact starting date, but I have another project that will be video based involving Ricky, so that will be happening in the new year. Anyways, so there is a rink. I say rink? Link. That's what I'm trying to say. Anyways, there's that. So I think the channel name is just Ricky B, the Rock and Roll Rat. So you can search for that. You'll find it as well. And podcast episodes have, Ricky telling a story from the previous couple weeks of his life, and Baby is frequently involved. So, do give it a listen. And, young love. They generally get along good. Sometimes they butt their heads. And certainly they disagree about things like finances. and what the actual essentials are and whatnot. But, Baby still lives at home with Kevin and Karen. And, well, I was going to say her sisters, but a couple of them are married already and moved on out of the house. But, she still lives at home. Ricky still has to have her home by midnight, or else the old man's gonna go after him with a shotgun. So, Baby's a little bit insulated from having to make real life decisions at this point, so she can still kind of kid herself about what kind of shopping spree she's going to be going on when she eventually has her own household. But yeah, so, and what was I going to say? Well, the Halloween episode involves Ricky getting dragged to be a makeup class guinea pig. So I think that's one of the funnier episodes. I mean, they're all funny, but that one is a particular favorite of mine. So go check it out. There's my long-winded spiel for my Ricky podcast. And I do voices, by the way. I think I did a little bit in the Ricky, the video when I was drawing Ricky a few days ago. But, I also have a voice for Baby. She kind of sounds like a Valley girl. A little bit like this. Come on, Ricky. Ricky. Let's go shopping. Yeah. This is why Ricky worries about money, because, he's going to have to figure out how to support Baby and keep her in the style in which she has become accustomed to and grown up in. So, yeah. Sure, the red pill guys would have all sorts of comments about women being a bad financial decision, and in Baby's case, I suppose it's correct. But she figures once she's Miss Ratland, the money will be rolling in. Modeling endorsements and all the like. That's probably not actually going to happen, but that's what she's kind of. That's her financial planning strategy. Adding some gold balls to the tree. I might add some silver ones. I don't know. I looked at the silver ink and I was like, yeah, not gonna pour this out. But now I'm thinking maybe I will. Because a whole bunch of these cartoons are having the colored random dots in the back as a background motif. Not all, but enough. Oops. A couple more on balls over here. By the way, I'm gonna mention, I noticed on the last couple of videos there's a little bit of it's not super smooth, and I'm trying to figure out whether it's my camera, because I'm filming this on a at this point quite antiquated camcorder from like 2008. I mean, it shoots in 1080p, which at the time was like cutting edge, but now it's kind of like a bit of a joke. I have not had issues with jumpiness off the camera before, so I'm suspecting the issue is actually because all these videos are long and huge, and then I edit in iMovie, and iMovie has a habit of when you delete files because you're done with them, it stores them in the iMovie library, and then it sucks all your hard drive space, right? And yeah, you go delete and whatnot, but sometimes that's not, it still takes up a lot of crap, right? So I read online about, well, put your iMovie library onto an external hard drive, and then it'll just dump all the crap over there, and then you won't have your hard disk all filled up, right? So that's what I did. But now I'm getting these issues where iMovie is very slow in the editing and kind of clunky, and sometimes where it sounds like almost like I have hiccups when I'm talking, and then sometimes when that happens, I go back 5 seconds and play it through, and it plays perfectly normally. Like it might just be a bit of a slow rendering thing, and sometimes it's still there. So I'm trying to... Anyways, my point is, if there's jumpiness in the audio, and also like the short sped up reel versions, like the one for Miles was noticeably kind of jumpy, which I don't know if that's again a RAM issue, an external hard drive issue, or whatever, but it wasn't on the first couple videos, so it kind of makes me think it's to do with me using the external drive. So when I'm editing this one, I'm gonna see if I can get that iMovie library back where it was, and if that fixes the problem. If it doesn't, because the other thing is, like I've said before, I'm filming. Oh, can you see it today? No, you can. Oh, I'm getting good at not having my phone in view of my camcorder. Like I'm having the jumpiness issue on the reels if I'm not careful. And that is on a brand new iPhone that those are being filmed on, as well as the camcorder, so it seems to me like it's an iMovie issue. Actually, I figured out part of it, at least for the reels, when I was doing the Ruth Thorson reel earlier. I realized, because, you know, usually I'm sitting and I'm talking, but I'm also like cleaning brushes when I go do this, and, you know, so nothing changes in the screen. But if I need to speed it up by like 9,000%, then I think that was causing some of the jumpiness. So I went through and like purged out anything over 10 seconds. Like when I imported the cell camera footage, this is probably boring, but anyways, I've started, so I'll continue to explain. So anywhere we're staying too static too long in the, because obviously I'm talking at this point with this camera, right? But that camera is just showing no movement. So I went through and stripped out those sections, so it was all action, and then sped it up from there, and it seems to have run a lot smoother on the real footage. So that would imply it's not, that there might not be issues with iMovie, right? It might be the camcorder has just decided this is a time to start causing issues, in which case then I need to get a new camcorder. Well, I mean, hey, there's going to be some good sales in a few weeks at Boxing Day, but, you know, it doesn't help for Vlogmas, because that'll be done by then. Your tail normally went up, by the way. Normally when I'm painting the rat people, I do the tails more peach than pink, but again, what was I saying the other day about I really should mix up some flesh colors? I did Ricky's tail the same pink color, right? Pardon me. Yeah, I did. I do think that ink dries a little lighter, but we can also help that along by dabbing at it. So basically, so the ink is more staining versus, you know, really accumulating. But anyways, did I mention in the Ruth Thorson video? I think I mentioned something about. I went and I looked at Michael's, and no, they don't have any like flesh tint or peachy colors of this ink. So I would have to mix my own colors, and at some point I might, but that point isn't today. Anyways, we just call it a design decision. And that was a weird little noise. I don't know if it picked up on the camera, but I think it came from the camera. A weird little, almost a grinding sound. That's never good. Anyways, so yeah, when I'm going to mess around. So hopefully this, it was funny. I noticed in the longer videos, the first half of it wouldn't have those little hiccups, but it was the back half, which might sort of be a rendering, but I think it sort of also was doing that a little bit in the versions on YouTube. I haven't listened to all of those final versions the way through, but a couple of them it seemed to be part of playback, so I don't know. But yeah, we will try to fix it. Certainly by January, if not during Vlogmas. Now, Baby would insist that this is her natural hair color. It don't look natural. But what do we know? Are we cosmetology students? I don't know. Some of you might be. But Baby is a cosmetology student, so she's an expert. And if she says that this is her natural color, then I guess we just have to believe her, right? A little bit of visual inspiration, I guess, from Kelly Bundy. But personalities are different. I mean, if only because Baby is loyal. You know, little different, just a little bit from Kelly's personality, but yeah. And I think Christina Applegate said that she took visual inspiration for Kelly Bundy from some of the girls who were in the background or, you know, in the scene for the documentary film about the LA metal scene called The Decline of Western Civilization. I think it was part 2 that was the LA sleaze rock scene. This is one of those things where when I was a kid, growing up listening to Motley Crue and Guns N' Roses, there was no way I was going to be allowed to watch that movie. I didn't even bother asking my mom. The answer was just going to be no, right? So why bother? And now I'm a grown-up and I could watch it whenever I want, and I just haven't gotten around to it. I probably should, because it'd probably be nostalgic and also hilarious. But remember, these may look like roots, but they're not roots, because the lighter yellow is Baby's natural hair color. Remember, natural hair color. Sometimes natural hair color is darker at the roots, but that doesn't mean that it's not natural. Ricky probably believes everything she tells him to. Yes, this would be as good a time as any, since I started raising to show the palette before. And we've got a mix of Higgins waterproof inks, the dye-based ones. We've got some Dollar Romney, and also some, which is the FW and the, there's another brand, Aquafine, also by Dollar Rowley, whatever the hell. And we've got some Liquitex acrylic ink as well. And, well, I mean, the FW and Aquafine by Dollar Rowley are also acrylic inks. Probably the Higgins is too. Oh, and the gold is a calligraphic ink. I've shown the bottle on other videos. So, now, let's do with the trees. Why not? The nibs are going to fight me today, are they? Or maybe just with this one ink. I may have to break out the brush for this, but I need some. That is giving some interesting texture, even if it's annoying as, you know. We're definitely going to break up the brush when I do another color, but we'll see, because sometimes swapping inks also makes it flow better, you know. What else can I say? Oh, well, I mean, it's been mentioned in a couple of podcasts, but I don't think I mentioned it on these videos yet. But so Ricky and Baby met in 8th grade algebra class when they were in the same class. And I think I might have, well, I know I just said Baby is 19. And I think I might have said on the Ricky video that Ricky is 23. He got held back a couple grades. And, you know, took him a few tries to pass algebra. As he points out, though, algebra is stupid. Nobody uses it. So he's not too concerned about that. And, well, Baby, you managed to pass it, but immediately forgot everything after the test. Yeah, because she's not going to be using algebra either. But yeah, so they've been an item for quite a few years at this point, I guess. And, you know, that kind of loyalty, I guess you don't see it as much these days. I mean, you know, when I was in high school, junior high, we did have a couple, like the captain of the cheerleading team and the captain of the football team, who had been together since 8th grade. So, same, except neither one of them was held back a grade. And there wasn't a 4-year age gap between them, obviously. But they were pretty steady throughout high school, kind of on and off again the last year, I think. But actually, no, I lost touch after that, so I'll have to ask a friend. My best friend keeps tabs more on folks from that we went to high school with, so I guess I could ask her whatever happened with the two of them, but my guess is probably I don't think they're still together, but you know, I think they ended up going to different universities. So that takes a toll, right? I do have a third green that's not, well, technically I guess it would be 4th or 5th green, but a different one of these Higgins greens. This is a very bluish kind of green. But I have one called leaf green that's more neutral, so I think I will apply that more neutral one with the brush. See, the Higgins is spreading a lot better with this exact same pen nib, so I think this was the nib I was kind of bitching about in the last video as well, about it dragging, so it might be the nib. That's probably the nib, right? But you compare that scribble to any of the more olive greeny ones, which had the same amount of ink on them. And it's just going further. Kind of making a mess, and some blobs are a little extra big, but we will even that out. I'll let that kind of dry before I go after it with the brush. So that means, I guess we gotta decide what color is the ground here. Do I want to do like a hardwood floor, or do I want to assume that Baby has a carpet of some kind? I think I'm gonna go for carpet of some kind. Let me see what I can find. Yeah, it's metallic. Excuse me while I lean off the side and find what's in my stash here. definitely hearing a little rattling sound from a camcorder, camcorder, and it's not being hit with anything. So, perhaps there is an issue with the camcorder. Well, I mean, I've had it a very long time now. So, I got that when I was taking some coursework at BCIT for new media in the new media design program in 2008. So, and it has seen a fair amount of use over the years. And stuff like the Nick White show that I was doing, I think I mentioned before, and all sorts of other video stuff. It's one that has like a internal hard drive, so you record things and then you take it off and then you record more, and at a certain point it just starts to, you're messing with things a little too much, maybe. I don't know. Things go on, things go off, things go on. Did delete, I was deleting stuff from 2022 earlier today to make sure it had room in it, so sometimes that upsets these little gadgets. Alright, let's do... I'm going to let the trees dry a bit more, so let's do Baby's dress. Stereotypically, she doesn't always wear a bright red dress, but she is often wearing a bright red mini dress. I also hear rain going outside the window, but that's not the sound. That's not what's coming right in my right ear, right next to me. So, well, we'll see. We will see what happens here. So there we go. Actually, almost sounds like somebody's setting off fireworks. I am actually mixing color, you believe it or not. It happens. Taking some of the yellow from Baby's hair to make a lighter green. And we'll see how this works. Looks pretty good. And because, the style here is messy, I don't care about the white little gaps and stuff. I think those add to the charm. And there's going to, of course, be black outline. But, I just don't want it completely white underneath. And we got some bubbling in the other, because that's also a mixed color of kind of like a processed blue and the magenta I used on her lips. But, we're getting a little a little sloppy, so we got a little bit of air bubbling, but sometimes that dries and makes really interesting texture. If you ever get that kind of effect with watercolor, it can be kind of a fun thing to do. I mean, you can kind of fake it a little bit by throwing salt down on your wet watercolor ink too, and then you get similar dots. You just have to kind of figure out how to get the salt off without leaving like crusty crap on your painting. And the fact that I'm kind of being sloppy and almost scrubbing a little bit with the ink is also going to cause some bubbles. But again, it's all good. We got texture. I think we are down to just coloring in Baby's present. And I'm going to use a kind of coppery color for that. Is way out of square. I just realized that, but that's fine. We're going to leave it a little bit exaggerated. Sounds like somebody in the neighborhood is setting off fireworks. It's a little early for that. Not that I care. I actually quite like fireworks, so my only request is if you're going to make the noise and set them off, please use the kind that are really sparkly, so I can go up to my front door and see them in the sky. You know, kind of like the thing from kindergarten, bring enough for everyone. And if it's not enough, then it has to be showy enough, you know what I mean? So, here we go. Yeah, that's definitely got to be fireworks I'm hearing. I don't know if they pick up in the camera at all. I may be just rambling about fireworks sounds, and nobody else knows what I'm talking about. That's entirely likely. But I can definitely hear the pop, 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 pop. Here we go. I think what we're left with is just the outline. So, I will clean off the palette and be right back. Okay, mystery solved. As I was... Whoops. As I bash my tripod. Try and get you guys a more straight on view. Except I can't really because I have to be the one with the straight on view. Oh, anyway, so as I was going into the laundry room to wash out my palette, I realized what it was. It is both rain, which is still happening, and it is fireworks. I remembered that today, Thursday night, is when my town does like their kind of start of the shopping sort of deal, you know. Come downtown by City Hall, and there's like there's fireworks, there's like a, you know, craft show sort of thing if people want to stand outside and freeze their butts off. You know, there's some musicians and hot chocolate, all that sort of stuff. So, but they do normally end that with some fireworks. So I didn't actually see any of the bursts, or I saw like the light coming from the direction of downtown. I'd have to go upstairs. I can sort of see those displays from upstairs, but I could tell as I was going, it's like, oh, that sounds like the finale. And sure enough, then the sound stopped as I was rinsing stuff out. So, oh well. I'm sure it was lovely. But it is also raining. So the answer to, is that rain or is that fireworks? That is, the answer is both and. So, is that, and so we're on to the outlining part. And the lettering. So baby's got this present and she is shaking it. I'm going to have to do the tag with a marker instead of a dip pen because I don't think I have a nib. Well, I have nibs fine enough, I guess, if I use the crow quill ones, but yeah. Where's the fun in that? They're very scratchy and annoying, I find. Anyways, so baby is shaking the present, trying to guess what's in it. Two trees, which kind of implies this is at home, because baby's mother seems like the type who does like 14 Christmas trees. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, I admire that. I am way too lazy personally. Well, generally way too lazy. Certainly too lazy to do multiple full-size trees. There has been the occasional Christmas over the years where I've had, you know, multiple small ones and then one sort of medium sized one, but, you know, that did not happen this year for sure. Yeah, I think it's this nib, because I was complaining about this yesterday. It's doing the same thing. It's not as bad, but normally I don't have to, like, I'm having to put pressure to get it to have good line quality, and I don't normally have to do that, so I don't know if it's the ink, it's the paper, it's the nib, it's all of the above, whatever. I will go to a thinner nib for outlining baby, but I want to put some scratchy, some kind of unpredictable lines in the trees, so we're going to do that. with the same medium-sized nib. This is where I do the little tricks that I do, because I'm not super ambidextrous, but I'm slightly ambidextrous. This might blow up in my face though, but sometimes when the pen is misbehaving, sometimes swapping to the left like that actually helps with like it tips it differently and then the ink flows better. I don't know. Which actually seems to be being the case today. I would not attempt to outline her with my left hand because I am very, it's hard to control it, you know, like this feels really messed up to do. But when you want a shaky line for the tree, it kind of doesn't matter, right? I can also quasi-write with my left hand, but it looks like somebody who's been held back a couple grades in, you know, elementary school trying to write. I do, however, when it comes to painting, I do actually use my left hand a lot more when I'm painting. Depends what it is. It's usually more of a background thing, but sometimes it's get an area where it's a little too awkward to do it with the right hand, and it's not as bad to do it with the left hand, so, you know, it's kind of looking okay. I don't mind being, you know, fairly fat and heavy on the bottom, because, I mean, hey, it would be shadowed under the tree, right? But on the other hand, you don't want to be that distinct. So I'll probably go add some fatter areas in the actual tree. That's about as much as I can tolerate of that, but it helped. If I practiced more, it would probably get easier, but then it's annoying, so I don't practice very much. Yeah. But see, the ink, interesting. The ink isn't going to flow as well when it's tilted this way, so that seems to, maybe if I use it in my right hand but roll it so it's more that way as it was in my left hand, yeah. Weirdly, it seems to be working better. Do I have the patience to do it that weirdly? Probably not. They do make pen cleaner, and I have some, and I should probably use it because I bet this is gunked up. Okay, so now I'll turn my water black. Or, as I've mentioned before, I have like 3 things of water, so one's going black, one's going charcoal. The other one isn't so bad. And I got ink all over my fingers. expensive. Okay, now I'm going to swap to a different nib to outline Baby. This is the same nib I've used in previous videos, which is a very similar style, but just a little bit skinnier. So, and it seems to flow a little better. Of course, now I got wet ink on both sides to contend with. See, some of the areas, if they're still wet, they, you know, it's like the grain of the paper comes up or whatever, and then the ink just drags on there. Now, Baby does have pierced ears, but she wears dangles, so we can't see them behind her hair. Baby screwed up drawing her eyebrows on today. Oh well. Must have been her, can't have been me. And in the underdrawing, I forgot to draw her whiskers on. There we go. And we can't see her other whiskers because her face is hidden by her present. But I'll probably put, you know, a little indication of a couple of them. baby's cow's too thick. Ah. Oh, well. She's a little knock-kneed, we'll say. Whatever. Yeah, let's see if I can letter this and keep... Oh, this one's thin enough that it'll work. I was thinking I was going to have to use the marker for that. Now, if her present, if she actually thought her present was expensive, she probably shouldn't be shaking the box, but, you know. Her little fingers there. And we're not quite done because I got to add her. She does always have bracelets on, and they are gold, which means I got to clean this out and get into that gold ink. Before I do, I guess I should draw on. There. Where did I put that gold ink? Not super opaque over the blue underdrawing, but you know, it's good enough. And now to sign it. Yay! Realistically, Baby would have some color on her fingernails, but do I feel like doing that? Maybe I should. I should, right. Do some, this is quinacridone magenta. There. Should I give her eyeshadow? I should give her eyeshadow, shouldn't I? I should. Keep going like, I am done. No, I'm not. I am done. No, I'm not. I am done. Ah, crap. She seems like a blue eyeshadow kind of girl, doesn't she? I can get the bottle open. Not going to worry too much about the fact that I went over her eyelashes, but I should have given her eyeshadow before I drew on her lashes, so whatever. It's messy. It is what it is. So, there we go. Now she's done. For real this time. So, now... how to sign it, and I could sign it on her hip. That's a little bit, I guess, well, I was going to say suggestive. It sort of is or it isn't, but I think I'm going to sign it on her upper arm, which would probably piss her off. Like, don't draw attention to my, like, flabby arms. God. Ricky, the cartoonist made my arms look fat. And like my calves. Anyways. So, there we go. She is done. Now, I'm going to turn off my cell camera because my cell phone camera does not need to do any more. Boom, out of the way. Don't hit me in the head when I zoom in. I'll move this camera and do some zoomed in close-ups. So a little bit jumpy. I'm gonna raise this up so I can aim it down. There we go. And there we go. That's better. Can't zoom in too much. I guess it gets blurry. Another sign the camera probably needs replacing. Anyway, so... ooh, sounds expensive. There we go. And we don't see her shoes, but... you know, she's taller than Miles, and she insists it has nothing to do with the 6-inch platform stilettos. Anyways, so... there we have it. Baby Rattsen, day 6 of the Vlogmas 2024. Hope you've enjoyed watching, and tomorrow we are back with, I'd have to look it up, but it'll be one of the characters from Noah's Archipelago. I don't know if we're doing Valerie tomorrow. We might be doing Noah's eldest son, Adam, probably. But back for more for the rest of Vlogmas, and like, subscribe, all the rest of that, and see you next time. Bye.